National Board of Commissioners order.
I'll talk to you later.
Invocation, pledge the flag.
Let us pray. Lord, thank you for our city today. Today we once again ask you for your wisdom and guidance on our Board of Mayor and Commissioners. We thank you and pray your blessings and favor on our city manager, our staff and employees, and most of all, our citizens. Be with us today as we strive to make the right decisions for our city and its people. Be with us throughout this afternoon, and we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A motion to receive file agenda.
Second.
Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion to receive and file the minutes of our regular meeting, September 12th, 2019, our recess meeting of September 13th, 2019.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Here's the reports, commissioners.
Just want to welcome everybody to our new meeting. Had a great Pope Landing days this past weekend, good crowd. And secondly, I was over in Central Park. You need to make a trek over there. Phase 1 of the tot lot is being completed and probably will be completed probably by the end of October. And you need to see that. A lot of new equipment and the turf is being put down as we speak. I also wanted to make mention that our curbside recycling, these went out in our water bills, and the deadline on this is October 12th. This isn't a city thing. This is a turnkey project by our provider, Rumpke. And so if you want curbside recycling, I encourage you to fill this form out and get it back into them. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. I've brought mine with me today to put in. Anybody else?
I just have a quick comment. Again, I want to thank this commission for indulging me the Arts Council. And we are looking for people to serve on that council. And just a reminder to everyone here, everyone watching, that if you are interested in serving on any board or commission within the city, the applications are available in the mayor's office, and we'll use that list to fill vacancies. So if you're interested, please pick up that application and get it turned in.
If you know someone, people watching, if they know someone, they don't have to be artists, seriously, but sometimes it's good to have a few on that committee, which I'm sure will happen. So it's an important call in all the development in our downtown for sure. The manager and I have been in Covington for a couple of days with the Kentucky League of Cities, and you know, you go to a lot of professional meetings like that. Sometimes you come back and thought maybe you wasted some time, but we sure did this time. A keynote speaker by the name of Roger Brooks is he's out of Seattle, but he's been all over the country. In fact, he knows a whole lot about Kentucky. I guess he's actually worked in several communities in Kentucky, but he's written books and everything else. His whole deal is downtowns, wherever you live. And he had us pretty quick for about 2 hours, and then they broke up into small sessions, and we followed him to the next session, and it was a standing room only session too. There's only thing that was a little negative about the whole convention was I don't think they realized how different speakers will draw them all. You know, so it was a smaller room, but we still managed to get in there. But you know, we had a little sit down the other day with the committee that had gone to Greenville, and I've been to Greenville to see their deal. But many of those things he was on top of. But as he did a PowerPoint, and you could just see our downtown in a lot of those pictures. And I would have to say, and the manager and I talked a whole lot coming. As a matter of fact, we were going to go to AA, and we've been talking. I hate to tell you this one, we were talking solid, and he's hard to talk over. You know, I thought I was, but no. And I looked up and saw a Cracker Barrel sign. I knew it wasn't between Ashland and Grace AA. We were almost to Moorhead. No, he said, Mayor, we've already passed Moorhead. But the truth of it is, just for your information, I haven't tried to do this before. I have done it, but not trying to do it. But we got to Cincinnati quicker than we ever do on the AA highway, just by driving to Lexington, taking 75 north. It's about 1 hour. And Chief, I do think that next time I'll probably take you with us. The manager drifted a little bit over the speed limit a couple of times, not badly. But I'm telling you, we drove very safely. There was heavier traffic that way, but we actually got there in plenty of time. But it showed a lot of rejuvenations in towns all over the country, and he's been involved in a lot of them. And we actually are going to try to get him in, Mr. Pullum, and pull people in. And we've talked about before, and the manager picked up on it when he went to Greenville, that all these agencies, and the thing reminds me of it so much right now, is Arts Council would be one of those groups that you bring in. We have Ashland in Motion, which is a given. We have Tourism Board, which is a given. The Alliance is a given. And what we, whether we get him in or not, or how soon, Mr. Pullum, but you and I have talked about when I did a business forum back when I was married before, we're going to do that no matter what. We have enough information and notes and handouts he gave us that we think we could really put on a good PowerPoint for our business people. We have to figure out a good time where we can draw them in, whether it's at lunchtime or 5:30 or whatever the case may be, where we can speak to as many interested business people downtown as possible. Because it's good stuff. It's just something they need to know about. It's relative to traffic flow. It's relative to parking. It's relative to. He went through his top 10 about economic development and revitalization of a downtown, and we fit a lot of them now. We truly do, and we just need to emphasize those things and get everybody on the same page. So we were very excited coming back, and we're going to make our best efforts, commissioners, to bring people in and get our business community stirred up, and to know that what you do, and one of the keys, what you do is you let other people decide, and you tell them we're for you. What you come up with. How many years I've been up here as a commissioner and mayor, and we talk about parking meters, no parking meters. We talk about 2 hours, no 2 hours. We talk everything you talk about, and the business community has always seemed to have been split this way into thirds or fourths of what they thought was best. And he came out with some great stuff on that too. But if they would come in, our business people come in and say, why don't you do this? So why don't you get with your business people and make a formal thing? We'll do it. There are a lot of things we can do downtown, and we can say, well, that's not working. And we won't have been out anything
Right.
a little time and trying. So we're gonna try some different things. I think you guys will get excited too. If we get him in, and I want him in to speak to our business community and bring in those groups that I'm talking about, and have all of us get that impact, and hopefully everybody gets on board with it. We just won't say, well, we've never done that before, but I don't think we can do that. Those are the two things I really don't want to do.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
I like to hear that attitude of
Yeah.
let's try it and
Yes.
see what happens instead of
How big a room we need?
can't.
Yeah, I hope it's a big room.
Good.
I just want to throw in, after you mentioned Poe Landing, Christy Mead. I know one person doesn't make it all happen, but Christy heads it up. And all of her staff, the people put together, I'm very proud of them. It's getting bigger than anything else we do, and it's well attended, and everybody has a great time. It's a typical fall, other than the weather. The weather was good, but too warm. If it had been a nice fall weekend, it would have been great, but anyway, it didn't rain. So I appreciate the Poe Landing people very much. They're putting a real signature on activities national. Okay, this is part of our meeting. Manager, I'm sorry. You talked so much the last 2 days. I can't imagine him saying anything else today.
I didn't speak to you. A couple of things. I did want to compliment some of the other things that the mayor said. Some of the statistics that Mr. Brooks brought out is that they'd done a survey of 2,000 cities. They took the top 400 cities, and that's the statistical background and data that they had to prove their points on a lot of things that were very persuasive. The timing of this is really awesome. We've got the comprehensive plan that's going. We've got this potential planning grant from KYTC, the leadership that's displayed on going to other communities, whether it be Greenville or wherever else. Bringing that all together is really, it's excellent timing. A couple other announcements, Mayor, Commissioners, and to the city. Highway 23 that we thought was going to be paved this fall after our road work or after the water line work was done is likely going to be paved in the spring. Is that correct? It's correct, I'm pretty sure. So if you don't see that being paved this fall, KYTC decided to defer it to the spring, but our water project is coming to an end there. Broadway Plaza, we intend to get out for bid this Sunday. It'll be out for about a month. And then the last thing is I've talked numerous times about the whole internet network solution, the phone system. We faced some significant challenges from our current provider. We are making the decision to go with all new phone numbers. That's going to get us onto the new phone system. We'll have a full campaign for information for the city before we switch over. We're going to have a bleed over time on there, but 1 November is going to be the date for switching over to the new numbers and the new phone system officially. The reason we made this decision is this could have extended out for, we can't count the number of months as we've tried to port over numbers. So that's the decision that the committee has made. I think it's the right decision, and it's going to be the best thing for our citizens. Okay. That's all I have there.
Thanks, Manager. This part of our meeting is public participation. If you have an item that you'd like to bring before the board, we would like you to limit comments to 5 minutes or less. If it's on the agenda, you may want to wait till we get to that item, but I won't hold you to that. And you all come a lot, you read this, certain things we won't allow you to say or allude to or anything. So anybody like to give us your name and address if you'd like to appear before the board today. Okay, old business, none?
I would like to speak.
Oh, okay.
Now, it's on that matter of the chickens, but I'd still would like to read a prepared statement I have, if you all would let me.
Well, I don't know, you want to give it to our clerk? You presented here, you went to planning and zoning.
Since I went to the zoning, I've done more research, and what I have to say is nothing I said at zoning, and it's literally that much of a statement.
Well, the problem with that is we had a public hearing, and notice went out to all citizens, those that supported your position, those that opposed it. And people came, you spoke for it, some other people spoke for it, many people came and spoke against it. We don't have a public hearing on the agenda today. Those people that oppose this don't have any opportunity to come in here and speak today because it's not scheduled as a public hearing. And the record was made, the public hearing is complete. You can't go back and add to that record. It is what it is. So it really doesn't serve any purpose. It doesn't seem appropriate for you to submit something today because you can't supplement that record. That was the day for the hearing. The recommendation was made, and it's on the agenda today for this commission to either accept that recommendation or to deny it. And they do that based on the record that was made in that public hearing and was in the minutes that that body has published. So I don't think it's appropriate, unless you all can do what you want to.
Yeah.
I will say one thing, as you pointed out, people came in and made statements against, and I was unprepared to address those negative statements, and so that's why I thought I would get a chance to be able to address it more further now that I know what people's issues are with it.
When you have a public hearing, that's the day for the hearing. You don't have a public hearing and somebody else comes back and says this and somebody else can come and says that. It can go on forever. That's why the notice is put out, and that's why you have the public hearing at that time. And you did stand up and rebut those people at that time. You spoke, they spoke, you spoke again. I mean, that's the process.
You've gone through the process. What's your name again?
Justin Literal.
And your address?
My address is 2955 Gibbs Court, Ashland, Kentucky.
2955 Gibbs Court.
41101.
Is that where you live?
It's where I live, that's
Yeah.
my home, and the place where we're storing chickens is my father's house, which is a different address.
And what's that address?
2202 High Street, and it's also 41101.
I'll let you give that to our clerk, and then the commissioners want to read it, look at it, they'll feel free to do so. I would concur with council that if it had a hearing, which it did have a hearing, nobody can refute whatever you put together, but I'll leave it up to the commissioners if they want to read it. Thank you, Ms. Little. Consent agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, anybody else? Okay. Anybody else? Consent agenda.
A resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda as amended for the regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of September 26, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. New business item A.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing Stephen E. Gilmore to execute a task order number 2 between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Howard Engineering and Surveying, PLLC, regarding the sewer lining project for the Department of Utilities and Division of Wastewater Collection in an amount not to exceed $24,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item B.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Granite Inliner LLC for the cured in-place pipelining rehabilitation project for sanitary and combined sewers in the amount of $525,785 for the Department of Utility Operations Division of Wastewater Collection.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item C.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Service Pump and Supply, Inc. in the amount of $52,340.98 for the purchase and installation of equipment required to convert existing aerator motors to VFD controlled equipment for the Department of Utility Operations Division of Wastewater Treatment Plant.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item D.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, amending the zoning map of the official zoning ordinance of the City of Ashland, number 101, series of 1986, as previously amended, by changing the zoning classification of Lot 3 of the Prospect Place subdivision located on Oakview Road across from the Ashland Tennis Center from B2 general business to R5 multi-single family residential medium density.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item E.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an amended agreement between the City of Ashland and GRW Engineers, Inc. to provide professional services for the Pollard Mills Drainage Improvement Project in the same amount of $421,800 to be paid from Community Development Block Grant Funds and Utility Fund.
So moved.
Second.
When's all that supposed to commence, Mr. Cullen? Ms. Woolry? Excuse me.
I just sent the bid back to GRW, and they're gonna refine it, and we're waiting on approval from Kentucky Heritage Council. So hopefully by the end of October.
Okay. Yeah, I know you all do a great job of informing neighborhoods and all that, but just so, that's a major artery, you know, for a lot of people going anywhere west, that's where they're at. So, do the least damage we can with congestion over. I know you will, but thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item F.
First reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, adopting the revised job description for the position of database facilitator and billing clerk, senior billing clerk in the Department of Finance, adopting the revised job descriptions for the positions of maintenance worker 1, 2, and 3 in the Department of Finance, Division of Mass Transit, and amending the authorized positions of the Policies and Procedures Compensation Plan and Classification Plan as adopted by ordinance number 51, series of 2017, as previously amended.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item G.
reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, adopting the Housing Choice Voucher Program Utility Allowance Schedule for the City of Ashland Community and Economic Development Department, Division of Assisted Housing."
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item H.
Reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, adopting the Housing Choice Voucher Program Payment Standards for the City of Ashland Community and Economic Development Department, Division of Assisted Housing."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item I.
Reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, accepting the proposal from SBI Trucks, Heritage Fire Equipment, for the purchase of a custom fire rescue vehicle for the Ashland Fire Department, and authorizing and directing the mayor to execute said proposal.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item J.
A reading and adoption of a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, accepting the Ashland Planning Commission's recommendation by effect of a lack of a second to deny a petition requesting a text amendment to the zoning ordinance to allow the keeping of farm animals as a conditional use in all residential zoning districts of the City of Ashland, Kentucky."
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Any other new business? I'd like to bring one thing up before we adjourn. Oh, we did? Okay. Before we go into executive session, I'll see Bobby. We've been meeting at noon, and I think, I don't know if the motion we made back in the spring was through September. So, then that means our next meeting would be an evening meeting.
The first meeting in October
First
would be
meeting in October
12
would be
o'clock, and
noon.
the last meeting would be 6 o'clock.
Okay, so at that first meeting, we can determine if we want to stay with the noon,
Hallelujah.
okay, and we'll vote on it then.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
I'm for that.
Yeah, well, one real thing is with the coverage that we're getting from hometown, and thank you guys for everything you do all over the community. But most people watch it, and we don't get to, and I guess you all watch every once in a while to see how you did or how it came out, what you said. I haven't seen one yet, and not by design, not by design. But I did 2 public service announcements. They picked 9 mayors out over the state of Kentucky, and I did 2 with Spectrum, and they'll be showing up here in my area sometime. They didn't let me see how I did. Made a few takes. They sprayed a little water on my hair a couple times and did that. And I said, "No, that's me. You don't have to do that." They came up and wiped shiny place off my face. It was crazy. The way they real professionals like you guys, But I did one. Everyone did one on road workers. Being alert to keep road workers in the city, in the highway, wherever. And then the other one, they had 55 other public service announcements you could choose from. And they started reading all through them, and they got opioid use. I said, "I'll take that." So my other public service announcement will be based on that, and that way, see how I look okay on it. Then I'll go back and look at these meetings.
Jeremy, I'm waiting for the day that you come wipe the shine off.
Yeah.
That'll be
Well, I'm used to it now.
awesome.
This way they do stars or something, I guess. I don't know. But
Good job. I watch it every time after the meeting. You do a good job.
I know people watch it because they tell me. They say, "Hey, I saw that, I like that, now tell me more about this." I think it's a great service that you're doing, and probably whatever it takes, we're gonna keep you going, okay? Yeah, we're very proud to have that in the city of Ashland. Okay, motion going to executive session.
Second.
We're going in executive session to discuss one item, property acquisition. One of the few things you can go in executive session on. We'll discuss it. We'll take no action back there. I don't know if we'll take any today or not, but we definitely won't be taking action behind closed doors. So if you leave, thanks for being here. If you stick around, we'll be back out shortly. Property acquisition. was discussed, and no action was taken. Anything else, anybody? Motion adjourned. Well, better wait. I'm with you. Well, I mean, I think, I don't know where they all stand, but, you know, the thing of it is, we're gonna, if somebody has a real issue, and we're gonna meet whatever our day that somebody needs us, right? Otherwise, you know, make it love just kind of noon instead of night, wouldn't you?
What is it?
You'd rather just come to a noon meeting? Yeah. Well, then you need to write an editorial on how great the noon meeting is. What are you doing here today? You got a problem here?
No, I got a day off. I can't make your day meeting, so I have to have a day off to be able to make it. I can make your 6 o'clock, but I can't make your noon ones.
Well, that's my clerk girl right there. Well, let me ask you, you got something on your mind?
No, I just want to see what was going on in my city. I just want to see what's going
How
on.
about that?
Thanks for coming.
How about that? Appreciate it. We're glad you're here.
Long time, Boyd County Clerk's Office.
Oh, my God. You're a good one too, let me tell you.
Yes,
You are
yes.
outstanding over there.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Well, you know how much you drag me through stuff over there. I don't know how to.
Drag.
Yeah. Well, like you do when I come up to your office.
Hey,
Okay.
it's usually after I've called her.
You call her then?
Yep.
We're adjourned. Thank y'all for being here.